Hello, it's Diana Marchand from Raw Foods Made Simple, and this is How To Thursday. What we're going to do in this How To Thursday is a couple things. I'm going to talk to you today about a very important topic. If you are a woman who's in her, well, maybe even late 30s, early 40s, maybe even in your 50s, then you need to listen to this, okay? What we're going to talk to is how to not gain a whole bunch of weight in your 40s and 50s. So, loaded topic, I'm going to touch on it today. Now, when you're an infant, when you're a baby, you're going through a lot of changes. You grow very fast. So you need the proper nutrition, right? And then you become a teenager, and again, you go through a lot of changes. There's growth spurts. There's so many hormonal changes. Your moods are whacked. It's all over the place. You know what it's like if you're a female and remember being 13, 14, it's not fun. Well, guess what? When you turn in your mid-40s, some people it's later, some people earlier, you're going to go through that all over again. It is. I would not have believed it until I went through it myself. Hormonal changes, big time. They affect your moods, for one, huge. They also affect your body. So, of course, the changes, that's, again, your cycle gets completely disturbed. And as well as this time you get to gain weight, and not necessarily in the hips where a lot of younger girls do now, it's all in the midsection, yes, the belly. You've seen many women in their later 40s, 50s that have more of a rounder shape. Well, that is what can happen. You need to, because your body's going through such a big change like that, you need to change what you eat. I'm sorry, but you can't ignore it. It's going to happen. But you don't have to do it in a hard way or a frustrating way or a confusing way. Simple tips. I'm going to give you one today, but my programs are loaded, but they're exactly geared for that. You need to change what you eat, and believe me, it's going to be a better way of eating. You're going to feel healthier and more energy. You need to take out the grains. I'm sorry, but grains do not work. A little bit of grains, whole lot of vegetables, okay? That's the way to think about it. The grains are definitely going to spike those blood sugar levels, and you're going to gain weight. Insulin. That, gaining weight in the midsection. Stress, cortisol levels, gain weight in the midsection. Hormonal levels, your fat can produce estrogen, your estrogen levels are lowering. So this is what's happening in your 40s. I gotta read a little bit. Estrogen levels lower, so they decrease. Your muscle mass decreases and muscle burns fat. You lose muscle, you gain fat, right? Your metabolism decreases, again, because you're losing your muscle. Your calorie intake actually decreases. You do not need as many calories, but you need more nutrients as you age to help your hormones. And your food cravings actually increase. Yes, you're going through these whacked up hormonal changes again. Your fat storing enzymes increase. Yes, our fat cells get bigger. We need more of them. They want to produce estrogen for us because our estrogen levels are decreasing. So, oh my God, it can be overwhelming, and I freaked out, but I found what worked, and that's what led me to raw foods. I got rid of my dairy. I got rid of almost all my grains. Now I have a little bit back. And so you need something to replace them with. This is so important. If you take something out, you have to have something to replace it with, or you are not going to stick eating healthy, right? It's going to be all about deprivation. We don't want that. What we're going to talk about today is buckwheat. Buckwheat is a seed. It's actually not a grain. It is higher in protein and doesn't spike the insulin levels. And I'm going to show you it in its raw form. Right now, buckwheat grouts are like this. You find them health food stores, bulk sections. You can also buy them in packages, but you want to get the buckwheat grouts, okay? I'm not going to spend too much time talking about how to sprout it and soak it right now. Maybe I'll do another video. But what I'm going to show is I'm going to attach a video to this one, and it's going to be about how to make buckwheat like a wrap or a crepe that you can use like a tortilla wrap, or you can use it like a flatbread, like naan bread or something like that you can pull apart and eat with a meal. Fantastic. If you were a real bread person, cracker, whatever, the thought of taking away that is so like, oh my God, what am I going to eat? So that's why I've attached this buckwheat wrap or that crepe type thing to this video, because that is something you can do with me. Is a few ingredients, super easy, but you need the video to see how to do it. I totally think that you should try that, because that'll really help if you are one of the people that loves breads. I don't have long on this video because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But if you want to see more videos or extended versions of videos like this about other things you can do or why you gain weight past 40, if you want to know more about it, please contact me. Leave a message under this video on YouTube or on my blog, or email me, Diana at Raw Foods Made Simple, because I want to help you. And what else do you want to see on How To Thursdays? So this is my tip for you today, is really, you start thinking about what the grains and the breads and decreasing them greatly in your diet, if not taking them out. And I hope you enjoy this recipe that's coming up next on the buckwheat wrap. And I do a free consultation if you want. Just send me an email. I have a form on my site if you want a strategy session we can go through, and we can fix up your diet. Okay, good talking to you. See you again. Hi, it's Diana Marchand from Raw Foods Made Simple. And what I'm showing you in this video is I'm cooking something. I'm going to show you how to make something very simple. A friend of mine, or a lady who was part of my class, who is fantastic, showed me this recipe, shared it with us, and it is one of my favorites, absolute favorites. It's made with buckwheat, which is a seed, totally gluten-free, higher in protein, and so many good nutrients in it. So you buy buckwheat grouts. Now make sure you get take this off for a second, the whole buckwheat grouts, and not the ones that have been already broken up. So I'm going to just kind of show you right here. This is what they look like, and they're quite hard at first. Now you can either use them as is, or you can soak them. Here are some that have been soaked and sprouted. Soak for 12 hours, rinse really well, so you can let them sit again. There's lots of info on sprouting buckwheat online. I also have a video on it. Then this is the mixture, the batter that we're going to use. So what I've done is 1 egg white, a half a cup of buckwheat grouts, and half a cup of almond milk. I use the bought and stuff. My boyfriend buys it. It makes these wraps way better. And then I add a bit of Himalayan salt, and I blend it in my NutriBullet or whatever blender you have. Now, if your buckwheat is sprouted, you need to use over a half a cup, because you know when it sprouts, it expands, so it's not really half a cup anymore. So I would use about 3/4 cup of the sprouted buckwheat. If it's still too thin, add more buckwheat that maybe it's not sprouted, just the raw buckwheat. Okay, and I'm going to show you the finished product. Here it is right here. It looks a little funny, but yes, you can let it cool and roll it into a tortilla, or you can eat it as like a crepe, warm, or make it thicker like a buckwheat pancake. It's fantastic. Okay, this is a hot stove. So I have a bit of oil in here. I like coconut oil or grapeseed oil. You can heat it at a high temperature. Now you use less than a half a cup of batter if your frying pan is about this size. This is trial and error. It's going to take some time to learn. So you just take some of the batter and you're going to pour it in. My pan is quite hot. It's like when you first start, you leave it just between middle and high. Now I have a gas burner stove, so gas and electric are very different. So you got to find the temperature that works right for you, but it needs to be quite hot. Let the oil heat up in the pan, let the pan heat up, just like making crepes and pancakes, and then you pour the batter in. Now you can measure it out. Could be a 1/4 cup, could be 1/3 cup of batter. I don't usually measure. And then you got to turn the frying pan so that the batter is distributed evenly. Or you can take your spatula and just spread it out nice. Don't press too hard. It'll start to cook very fast. Now, like a pancake, you're going to see the air bubbles come to the surface, and it's going to start bubbling. This is what you want. These take longer than you think, let me tell you. You think they're going to cook really fast, but they actually take longer. Just watch for burning. If you smell burn, it starts to burn, turn the temperature down. Now, when I use the amount of batter I told you about, we're using half a cup or more of buckwheat, makes 2 sizes like this, plus we have some more batter left. So maybe 2.5, maybe close to 3 of these tortillas, I call them, whatever you want to call them, wraps. So I'll just show you what the pan's starting to do. It's just starting to bubble a bit. There it is right there. That is it cooking. I won't be able to show you in this whole video how it's done. But what you want to do is this will stick, so don't try to turn it too fast. How you know it's ready to turn is when you shake your pan, your frying pan, and it moves back and forth really easily, then it's ready to turn. Don't try to turn it before, it won't work. And like I said, it does take a little bit of time. And then you're going to flip it over on the other side until it's done to the consistency you want. If you get it too thick, it's going to be really spongy and thick. That's okay, just next time try to get it a little thinner, unless you want the pancakes. So So this is the simple, easy recipe, and you will love these. You can make them up ahead of time and put them in bags and keep them in the fridge, and therefore you have like your own tortilla wraps. Super fast, easy, simple ingredients, no preservatives, no sugar. It is fantastic. I want you to try these buckwheat wraps. I know you're gonna love them. Like I said, if you don't get it the first time, keep trying. It just takes a little bit of practice. Once you get them, you'll love them.